Hello, my friend, and welcome back to the podcast. So today I want to talk about a topic that I feel very passionate about, and it is running your own race. I talk to, in my opinion, too many women dentists who feel like they are not doing enough, who feel like their practices are not as successful as they should be, who feel like they are not good enough as a mom, not good enough as a neighbor, as a wife, as a doctor, that they have these goals that they're comparing themselves to and they are not doing enough. And whenever I ask them, what are you comparing yourself to? Like, what is that ultimate success? What does that look like? They usually pause and then they give me an example of somebody they met at a study club, or this is what really drives me nuts, is just some dude in Facebook group that posted his numbers. And for some reason, we decide to compare ourselves to that person. And then we look at our numbers and we think, oh crap, my practice is nowhere near as successful. I am like this old, this many years old. I should have started practice way sooner. Or I am X amount of years into private practice. Shoot, I should be making this much in production. We're constantly compare ourselves to other people. Sometimes to ourselves, but mostly to other people. And what I want you to take away from this podcast is that who are you comparing yourself to? Who sets the benchmark for your success? And sometimes we say, oh, it's just me. I want to make 3 million next year. But why? If it's influenced by something external, I want you to question it. Because very often, like I said, some dude in Facebook group who has a stay-at-home wife and a full-time nanny is running the practice, and you are comparing yourself to this guy. Like, it's not the same. Just being a woman, especially if you're a mom, the standards that are placed on you, that pressure that you feel to do X, Y, Z is very different than for somebody who's single or for a guy. It's just different. And so I want you to remember this and create your own benchmarks, create your own goals, and not just be in this constant rat for some arbitrary marks that are created by somebody you maybe haven't even met. Okay? So this is the drive home message that I want to have for you. And I have a process for you for how you can create the success and the success metrics that are perfect for you and for your life. Okay. So here's the 3 things that I want you to consider. First thing is, I want you to stop and think about the long-term vision for your career. If you're a practice owner, great. Think about, when do you want to retire, or when do you want to be practice work optional, meaning you don't rely on your income to pay bills. Like, you just work for fun. So I want you to stop and think about it. In how many years would you want to retire? And then let's build our game plan, our each decade's or 5-year goal based on that. Like, I see sometimes brilliant, such intelligent, incredible women stuck in a work situation, and every day just feels so heavy, and they're heading towards burnout because, let's say, they have this coworker that they are really not getting along, or there's this business situation, or maybe with a business partner or something like that, where it's just not going smooth and it's draining them so much because they haven't thought about, okay, you know what? In 5 years, I can just walk away from the practice. I just want to retire in 5 years, or my kids are going to go to college. And so I can just go. Their goals would be so much more inspiring and lighter if They looked at the bigger picture. So for you, I want you to think about your career. Like I said, if you're a practice owner, I want you to ask yourself this question: when do I want to retire? When do I want to maybe hire an associate? Or when do I want to be work optional? If you're an associate, I want you to ask yourself, okay, what's my career long-term plan? I am 35 right now, for example, and maybe it would be nice to retire when I'm 65 or 60 or 55. Okay. What do I want to do? Do I want to eventually maybe buy a practice, or do I maybe want to have kids and become a stay-at-home mom, or maybe I want to switch careers altogether? I want to do something different. I want you to think about it. Nobody knows for sure, but I want you to at least start entertaining this long-term vision. Okay. This is step number 1. Step number 2 is I want you to look at 6 areas of your life and set priorities there. This is what I do with all of my clients in the mastermind and with private coaching, is where literally the very first call, I look at 6 different areas of their life outside of just practice, because you are a whole person. If you don't take into account your marriage, your kids, your relationship, your health, your finances, then you are burning candle at both ends by just focusing on the career. You are never going to be happy. I promise you this. Okay. And just a side note, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here. This is what our brain always tells us. Our brain says, okay, when I hit 3 million, I can relax, whatever the number is for you. But let's say it's like, okay, at 3 million, I'm going to arrive and it's going to be great. And so our brain tells us this lie that when we have this external circumstance, when we achieve 3 million in production, we are allowed to feel successful and accomplished and enough. And let me tell you something, as a life coach, as somebody who is an expert in the human brain, I know how brains work. And when you are coming from a thought of, I need to achieve XYZ in order to feel an emotion that I can allow myself to finally feel I've arrived, I promise you, my friend, let me save you all this effort and time and money. I promise you're going to hit 3 million and you're still going to find flaws. You're still not going to feel enough. You're still not going to feel successful. That 3 million is not going to be enough. You're going to look at your team and think, oh my gosh, yes, we've achieved 3 million, but at what cost? It's a nightmare. I hate my staff, or it's not working out with my associate, or like the guy down the road has such a better team culture. Like, I suck at this. It's going to fall apart any minute. I promise you, my friend, if you don't start with a more sustainable goals and lifestyle right now, when you arrive there, it's not going to be better. And if you thought it would, I promise you, let's just switch gears. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but it is important. I want to drive the message home. Ask anybody who has lost a significant amount of weight. Like anybody who, let's say, struggles with their weight for a long time, they think that if they lose weight, their life is just going to be better. They're like, oh my God, it's going to be so amazing. Like, not only am I going to be skinny and I'm going to wear these amazing clothes and everybody's going to like me, and like my personal life is going to be amazing. Like, it's just going to be great. This is all I want. And then they lose weight and they have extra skin. And they're like, oh my God, the only thing that changed is I fit in smaller clothes, but now I have this problem with extra skin and I still look like crap without makeup. Like, what? I thought if I'm thin, then I'll just look amazing all the time. But that's not how it works, my friend. And so the same thing back to your practice is you don't want to just set separate goal for your practice. I want you to look at your entire life. So remember, step number 1 was to think about the long-term vision for your practice. Step number 2 is I want you to look at 6 areas of your life. Here are the areas. I want you to look at your career, finances, marriage/relationships, family/children, time, and health, mental and physical. I want you to look at these 6 areas and rate them in the list of priority. Like, what's most important for you? What do you want to improve the most? What's most important? Maybe it's health. What's second? What's third? Okay. Create this list. Maybe like career is number one, health is number two, family is number three, time is number three. Like, create this list. And when I talk about time, I mean, do you feel rushed, or do you feel like you have plenty of time? Like, you have a good schedule, you have a good system? Like, how do you feel about it? Okay. And so look at this priority list and then take your goals for your practice and combine the two. And I'm going to attach a document at the end of this podcast episode so that you can use that exercise that I'm doing with my clients. You can do it on your own. I'm trying to give you guys as many resources as I can, possibly without overwhelming you, so that you can start improving your life and move towards something incredible. Okay? We're not just here creating income and jobs and trying to make ends meet and pay student loans. Like, you are creating something incredible. And I want you to feel as good as how great what you are doing and putting in the world. Okay. So this was step number 2. I want you to look at these areas of your life and create your list of priorities. And then step number 3 is when you put everything together. Like, let's say health was important for you. Health was number 1 priority. What would it look like to have amazing health? Maybe it is sleeping more. Maybe be very specific. Maybe it is going to bed every night at 10 p.m. and waking up at 6. Like, at 6, you want to have 8-hour nights. Okay, great. It is important when you're creating your work schedule. It is important to make sure that you have enough time to get home, spend time with the kids, and go to bed by 10. That's how you're going to start reorganizing and shifting your entire life, shifting your priorities. I want you to live a more intentional life now. I don't want you to wait until XYZ gets fixed and done. My friend, that time will never arrive. You will fix the problem, and then there's something else going to happen. And so you will always put on the back burner your family, your finances, your health, figuring out XYZ. I want you to start living your life now while you're achieving your goal. And I want you to use your whole life. You're a multifaceted being. I want you to use your whole life now to create that perfect, special, secret sauce or recipe for setting career practice goals for you, not some arbitrary goals that you've heard at some dental society meeting or like somebody presented at a conference. You're like, oh my gosh, this is where I should be. Nobody knows where you should be but you. It's a personalized approach. And I want you to approach it this way. Okay. So I'm going to summarize these steps. If you feel like you're looking at your numbers and you're worried and you feel this pressure and you feel like you're not doing enough, and you go home and you look at your house and you feel like it could be cleaner, and you look at your reflection in the mirror and you feel like you should be thinner and your kids should spend more time doing XYZ, or you should spend more time with them. If you're constantly feeling like it's not enough, that you're not doing enough, and you are devaluing your own self, like you know that you are amazing and educated, you can do amazing things, but you're constantly feeling this like feeling that pulls you down, that like, ooh, I'm not living to my full potential. This is the formula to figure out your potential. Please, for the sake of everything pure on this planet, do not look at other people. Okay? Create your long-term vision. Look at your life. It could be foggy vision. You don't have to perfectly know. We'd never know how things go, but create this foggy long-term vision for your career or for your practice. If you're a practice owner, then look right now at 6 areas of your life: career, relationships, time, family, health, and finances. Rank them in the list of priority, and then incorporate how you want each area of your life to look like in your day-to-day schedule, so that your practice goals do not interfere with your life, but they are in the symbiotic relationship. Okay, my friend, this is the recipe for happiness. This is the recipe for fulfilled career and successful career on your terms. Okay, my friend, I want you to run your own race, and this is how you do it. And if you need any help with this, of course, reach out to me. Like I said, I'm going to leave a worksheet in the show notes of this episode. Download it, use it as your guide. It's literally a one sheet. It's very simple. But I want you to walk into the next 6 months, because that's what I do with my clients and my masterminders. And the mastermind is a 6 months long program. We go 6 months at a time because it's very easy and consumable for the brain. I want you to set your goals and priorities for the next 6 months. What are you going to achieve? Leave in the comments. Let me know. Let's get excited. Let's cheer for each other. Let's take control back over our lives, our careers, and our future together. All right, my friend. I'll catch you next week. Bye.